Thank you for joining me today in the Average Locker Room. I am Pearl, and I'm gonna do an update on my previous video about, or previous vlog about reasons why you shouldn't interlock your locks. The reason I'm doing this is because I received some comments on my last video, and I wanted to talk about what was mentioned in that comment, because she was absolutely right, and there are definitely some, at very least, terminologies I need to update and explain why my retightening process is what it is. Okay, so the comment was from, and I hope she doesn't mind that I include her name, because you can see the comments and like the conversation on the previous video. So if you haven't seen it and you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a info card. Maybe it's on this side, I don't know, one of these sides. I'll leave an info card so that you can watch the previous video, and then you'll understand what this video is about. Okay, so she says, nice locks, just an FYI for future videos. It's called a 4-point rotation. And I'm happy she said that, because I was struggling when I was doing the voiceover for the previous video. Like, what is this rotation called? I've heard it before, but I couldn't remember what it was. So I'm happy that somebody was like, hey, let me help this girl out. So I appreciate it. So the rotation that I use is called a 4-point rotation. She said that the retightening is called new growth, not roots. And it's funny because after I uploaded the previous video, I thought about it like, dang, why didn't you say new growth? But I don't know, like sometimes stuff slips your mind. So, but I mean, they are your roots. Y'all knew what I was talking about. And then she was talking about how it didn't seem like I had enough new growth to do a retightening, and that it's possible to, like if you do your retightenings prematurely, that you can overdo it and it can cause thinning. And she's absolutely right. You can have that issue. However, in my case, I retighten my hair by myself. I don't go to a loctician or professional sister loctician or certified sister lock consultant. I've been doing them myself for the past 2 years, and like I mentioned in my previous video, is one of the reasons why I feel you shouldn't do it yourself, because it requires a measure of patience to find a process that works for you. And so for me, I do my retightenings every 6 to 8 weeks. I can't go any longer than 8 weeks. I've tried, and it's a whole mess. I can't see what's back here. Everything I'm doing is by touch and what I feel. So if I can take and this is a fresh retightening, I'm off 3 weeks, and if I can take my finger and get it through the new growth, then I will usually do a retightening. But I try to wait at minimum 6 weeks, at most 8 weeks, because if I wait any longer than that, this new growth, and I don't even know if y'all can see that over here, this might not. So this new growth right here, it'll be a mess, and I will have the hardest time separating them or telling the difference between what goes where when I'm doing my retightenings. Like it's difficult to see. What are we in, July right now? Like the middle of July. So I probably won't do another retightening until the middle of August. but that's just the time frame that works for me. So yeah, and so even with my clients, I have a few who do interlocking. Even with them, I try to base it off of their hair growth and what works best for their hair. One of my clients, he can go 2-3 months before he needs a retightening. Retightening or interlocking is definitely a time sensitive process, especially if you're doing it yourself. It's time sensitive if you have someone doing it for you, but you can go a little longer if someone is doing it for you, because they can see how much new growth you have, and they can clean up your grid, for lack of a better way to explain it. They can clean it up for you because they can see it. If you're interlocking it yourself, you can't really see it. And so you kind of have to base it on what you'll be able to manage as far as new growth is concerned, but also gauge, how soon you should retighten and how many rotations you should do, because like she mentioned, you could definitely cause thinning and you could overdo it. So any of my other videos, go back and watch them. I try to respond to all of my comments, or at very least